I'm telling you, when God took me through healing, I did a lot of crying. I'm gonna just say that because I asked to be healed from one thing that I was going through at that time. Like I was going through a heartache at that time, and I asked for to be healed from that heartache. I wasn't even aware. He said, "No, I'm gonna heal you from everything, not just that heartache. I'm gonna heal you from everything that you ever battled in your life." And he just took me through this process where I'm telling you, I never cried so much in my life. But he literally took me through my whole life, like from when I was a kid, stuff that happened to me when I was a kid. And that was another way for me to know it was God, because it was things that nobody knew, that happened to me when I was a kid. Nobody knew. And it was like he was giving me visions, like when this happened to you, when they said this to you, like that I was still carrying all those things. I was still carrying them all the way into my adulthood. And that's what a lot of y'all don't understand is like, we'll forget those things or put those things in the back of our mind, but those things are still controlling our life in a way because we're still carrying them. And some of those things are actually what's making us behave and do the things that we're doing. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of us have. In this world, it ain't hard to get traumatized. It's really not. It's not hard to get your heart broken. It's not hard to go through pain. Though God understands that. This is the thing. He is not blaming anybody for being traumatized and bitter. He just wants you to let it go. He's like, let me help you heal and release those things, because this is not who I created you to be. This is not how I want y'all to think. This is not how I want y'all to behave and how to act. But you guys are acting out of trauma and pain. So that is why, over the last 3 to 4 years, you have seen a lot of people coming up front, like forward, as far as in the media and everything, stressing the issue on healing, because God wants everybody to heal so you can get to your true self. Once you get to your true self, and that's after you put down the baggage of all of the bad things that's happened to you that you're carrying and you're insistent on carrying, because God is telling you, release those burdens unto me. I will carry them for you. I will help you. I will give you rest. He will give you rest. But we're like, oh no, we used to carrying it. We gonna carry it when you don't have to. And I just had to get out my own way. Really. So yeah, we get so used to carrying those things, and you don't know how much all that carrying. Thank you, Efrit. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But yeah, so when you say release your burdens unto me, and I will give you rest, believe that. We have to believe that. Yes, you can't rely on man to do those things, but this is God we're talking about. When I tell you it's going to be the year you're going to cry, and he's going to heal you and release all of those things. But thank you. It's gonna be the best thing that ever happened to you. I promise you. You ain't gonna be feeling lonely. You ain't gonna be worried about being single. You're gonna be growing. That's what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be growing and getting pushed into purpose he have for you. This is just a moment in your life. It is not the determining factor of your life. It is just a moment. So I'm telling you, once he heals you, I'm telling you, all of that stuff gonna come off you. The depression, all of that stuff, the anxiety, the worry, all of that stuff. I done been there. I'm telling you, I done been there. Okay. But I was so depressed. But then God was like, I'm going to heal you from everything. And so when he said everything, I was just thinking like, well, what else is there? I'm just going through this right now. He like, oh no, you carrying so much stuff from kindergarten, all from high school and all of this stuff. We finna release all of that. And I just had to get out my own way. You know how we are all like, we like to have that kind of control. We're used to having that control of our life, but you got to trust somebody, and who better to trust than God? I'd rather trust God than any person here on this earth, because people on this earth can disappoint you. They can walk out on you. They can leave you. They could give up on you. You know what I mean? It's so many things. God has not given up on us, even though we have given him reasons to, but he hasn't. So that's the person I'm putting my bet on. I'd rather trust that person than a person who could leave me tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, we all been traumatized. I'm telling you. It's almost impossible in this world to not be traumatized by something. So it's not that God is faulting us or anything. He understands that. He just like, come to me so that I can heal you and release these burdens onto me so that I can give you the rest, so that you can actually live a real life and not a life of carrying burdens. That's what you got to understand. And once you get out of your way of trying to have that control, or being used to just carrying those traumas, and just say, okay, God, I'm done here. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to put this on you. Thank you for carrying this, but please release me from these things, and please help me heal and guide me into what you have in store for my life and the purpose you have for my life. And I'm telling you, once you do that, it's all up from there. Yes, there's going to be some trials, but it's going to be training. You're going to go through a whole process of how to get. Basically, you're going through a thing where you have to now get your life aligned with God. So some things are going to be released from your life, but understand that they're for the best. Some people are going to be released from your life, but understand they're for the best. And as those things get released and you start getting aligned with the purpose that God has for your life, He starts to heal you and all of those things. All of those doubts and worries, the depression and all that, it's going to go away because you're going to have a purpose. You're going to know what the purpose is. You're going to see the growth that you're having in your life. You're going to see these things actually happening. You're going to feel different. You're going to say, okay, these things aren't bothering me anymore. You're going to start looking at those relationships you had in the past that was still, you was holding on to pain from, that was still hurt, giving you, ill feelings and different things. You're going to realize you don't feel that way about any of those things anymore. Once you start to see those things and you start to feel different, all of that stuff you worried about now is telling you're going to be more happy because you're going to see that your life is growing and going in the right direction, that you are releasing things. And He's going to just little by little prepare you for your person. Once He heals you, you're not going to even end up in those type of relationships anymore where you're going to get traumatized, because He has built you up to know exactly what it is that you want and what you're accepting and what you're not accepting. So you're not going to easily fall into these relationships that's not good for you, that hurts you. Thank you, Teresa, for the follow. I really appreciate it. So that's the next thing. With the healing comes so many different things. You're going to change your perspective. You're not going to see yourself the same. You're going to see yourself in a different way, and you're going to hold yourself with value now. You're not going to be, confused about what it is that you deserve and don't deserve as far as in these relationships. You're going to be set in stone. You're going to know exactly. And God is going to be talking to you. You're going to be like, no, don't deal with that person. You're going to be like, no, they're going to hurt you. You don't deserve that. So you need that person that's really like, you don't deserve that. He's going to show you who you are and what you bring to relationships, and you're not going to accept anything less than that. So anytime somebody giving you crumbs or anything, you're going to feel like, oh no, I'm not about to deal with that. So that actually helps you not get put in a situation where you can easily be hurt again. So that's why it's so important to heal. And it's so important to build your relationship with God. Just like how I talk to y'all on here, and anybody you talk to God like that. You don't have to. Like you're building a relationship, just like you build a relationship with me or with your friends or anything. That's how you're building a relationship with God. That's the thing that people don't understand. If you just talk to God just simply like that, start building a relationship with Him. When I got into that point, I was like, okay, God, you see, I don't know. You see this? So I'll be talking to God. I'll be like, you see this? This is why I don't want to date. You see this? This is why I'll be talking. That's how I talk to God. And He's like, I understand. I get it. But let me show you how to not fall for this anymore. Let me show you how to not end up here anymore. You know what I mean? You're not going to even be looking in the direction of these people anymore. And then He had to reveal to me all of the qualities that I brought to a relationship, because we be looking at ourselves small, for real. But He started to like, these are the things that you bring to relationships when you come into a relation. This is you. Let me show you who you are, because you're not seeing yourself clearly. You're seeing yourself as who the world told you was, who these abusive partners told you was. And once He started revealing me, like, let me show you who you have. You paid attention to how you treat these people who you're in a relationship with? They're happy. You're not happy because they're not giving you what you are giving them. So once He started to reveal to me all of the qualities I had, I wasn't even seeing it like that. I mean, I knew I had them, but I wasn't looking at it like an asset to a relationship. But He had to explain to me that those qualities is what builds your partner up. So you have to understand, your partner could be getting built up as you're getting stripped down. They're not pouring into you as you're pouring into them. So you're pouring all of your energy, all of your love, all of your encouragement, all of that, everything in them, and they're growing, right? But they're not pouring anything back into you. So you're falling. You see what I'm saying? You're falling. You're losing all your energy. So you need to start paying attention to how you feel in these relationships. If the person who you're in a relationship, you're pouring into them and they're growing and everything, and you're sinking and all of everything, they're not pouring back into you. So you're just giving everything to them. That's not a real relationship. A relationship is two people coming together as one, pouring into each other so that one will not lack. That's the point. So that's what a lot of us ladies need to start paying attention to, is how much we're pouring into a person without receiving something back. That's how you lose yourself. And that's how you end up in that depression and in those dark places, because you start pouring so much into a person and they're not giving you the same thing back. And then you end up losing yourself, and you end up low in energy. You end up, losing that zest for life, that light, everything that you are here to bring to the world. So you have to start paying attention to those things. And those are things I was not paying attention to at first until I got to the end of relationships. And I was just like, when you just be over it, like, okay, this is too much. When you just be like, okay, this is too much. I'm tired. This is another job. I didn't start looking at it until that part where I was like, why is this person happy? Like, I'm not happy in this relationship, but the person I was with, they were happy. They were winning. Everything was up for them. And I just felt like it was a job. I started to realize, like, you're the one making this all happen, this whole relationship. You're the one pouring everything into this relationship in order for it to stay solid. That person is just there for the ride. So I had to really look at it like that, because that's the type of person that I love hard. That's me. But God's like, okay, no, you're not doing that no more. If the person is not pouring into you like you're pouring into them, what are you? No, you don't deserve that. So it had to get to that point. So God was he's going to have to tell you some things about yourself that you're going to be okay with hearing. Sheen Queen, thank you so much. You're going to be okay with hearing it because it's going to be truth. And that's the point. You cannot be afraid to hear the truth, because that truth is what's going to help you. I'm telling you. One thing you got to understand is that you can lie to everybody else, but I wouldn't advise it. But what you can't do is lie to yourself. You know the truth, you just don't want to actually say it. You know what I mean? When somebody else says it to you, it's hurtful. But it's different when God says it to you. This is what I'm saying. When God puts those things in your head, like, it's things you already know, that you hiding deep inside of you, that you really already know. You know you deserve better. But you're letting somebody else convince you that this is all you deserve. You know these things. So it's not going to be anything that you don't already know. It's just, okay, we bringing this out. We putting this out on the table, and we finna address this right now, because you finna put this this about to get put to bed. If you are not getting what you deserve, and you feel like you're pouring so much into a person and they're not giving you something back, there is no reason for you to continue this relationship. That's not something that was sent by God. That's what I'm gonna just tell you. So once you realize those things, you're not going to end up in those type of relationships anymore, because you're going to see it before you commit to it. You understand what I'm saying? So once before you commit to those things, you're going to see it, and you're not going to commit yourself to those things. You can try to have them people in your life, but I wouldn't commit to those things. No, because you're just basically now pouring and giving this person all of you, and they're not pouring back. So it's not equally yoked. The relationship God bringing to your life are equally yoked. You guys are continuously pouring into each other so that nobody will ever lack. That is what I had to understand. It's not one person pouring into the other person, making them great, and they're just falling. Now this person falling apart, they getting sick, they doing all this stuff because they're giving that person all of themselves. No, this is a continuous flow from both parties. That's what you got to understand. For everybody else in here, I'm telling you, pray that God heals you from everything so that you can start this year with a clean slate. Okay? Start this year with a clean slate. You are not bringing any of the negative things from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, into this new year, because this year is when a lot of things are about to happen. There's a lot of blessings, a lot of things. If you feel like you've been kind of patiently waiting and waiting for your time to come, your breakthrough, this is the year. But you need to release all of those things that is going to hold you back. When God brings things into your life, you want to make sure you're in a space mentally, physically, emotionally, that you can receive these things and keep them. He doesn't want to give you things and then you lose them. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of us went through isolation, because he took us through the healing process. We had to fight a lot of battles in that isolation, so that when we did receive our blessings, we were strong enough to keep them. We were strong. We knew the importance of it. We knew what it would take to hold on to those things. So that's the thing. The sooner you start that process, the faster it'll go. So the first part of the journey, is healing, because he has to heal you from all of those things. You can't even let God fully into your heart if your heart is corrupted by all of the trauma and all of those things. So you're not going to even fully be able to receive God until you heal from those things. So the first thing as far as the journey is always healing. That's the first thing. I'm just speaking from experience. But I'm still here, you see. It's not that bad. I'm telling you, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It really was. I'm telling you. Once he took me through it, and he like gave me visions and showed me like, okay, you see this, when this happened to you a long time ago, you know you were still holding that, but you thought you let it go. You thought you let it go, but you were still holding it. But we about to release it. Like he's just gonna show you the things like make them pop up back up into your mind right before you release it, so that you'll know what he's taking from your life, like the things that you were holding on to. Because it'll be things, I'm telling you, that you don't really realize you're still holding on to. But he'll be like, you see you doing that, like it'll be things we are doing and like how we're moving in our life, our attitudes and different things that we're doing, is we're doing it because of something that happened in our life. We just didn't realize that we're doing it. So as he was healing me from different things, he was like just letting it pop in my mind. Like, you remember that? Yeah, that was still there too. I'm gonna take that. I'm about to take that away too. So all of this stuff gotta go. And yeah, and then it was like, I'm gonna release these things so that you can go and help other people. And so you can tell people what the process was, and you can help everybody else, or show them the importance of healing.